Okay, we will get started. We're getting smaller crowds. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'll go through my stuff quickly since we have so few people here and really focus on your questions. You might have some more specific questions. So here we go. First off, welcome to those of you that are here. If you have a K through 3 student that's in our regular instruction, you probably know we've had some changes recently due to COVID metrics. Let me share my screen. Okay, just recently, if you have a K through 3 student, I posted, we got our routes done. They're right here. As is always the case in the beginning of the year, these will probably get updated, if not every day, every couple days. We'll probably, run Thursday and Friday will be the same. But then I imagine some tweaks as we fine tune, figure out who's writing and who's not. With our limited in-person instruction model, we got to keep the size to 10 on the buses. But anyhow, so for example, if I click there, brings up the Veneta routes. It describes Route 3 as an A day in the morning, Route 3 in the afternoon, kind of gives you the times they will be picking up and dropping off. So I wanted to go over that first. Also for K through 3 students, be the first meals we've served in a building for a while, although it'll look a little different. The elementary kids that come in the morning will have an opportunity to have breakfast right when they get there, and then everyone will go home with a lunch. If you specifically don't want your kid to go home with a sack lunch, email your kid's teacher, and they will not going forward.
Hey, Mr. Carpenter, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
So the link, I had about 20 families text me and say that the link was not working. So I'm sending it out. So be ready for some people to jump in.
The link for this meeting?
Yeah, I don't know. So okay. That would make sense why there's only 8 people. But just so you know, I'm sending it out again.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't the case and it's working. I'll maybe slow down a little bit if we have some more people jumping on. Anyway, bus routes, I linked them there. You can always go for our district's website, district services, transportation. The transportation department has their own page. You can see that's where those routes are as well. And that's where they'll be updated going forward. So you don't have to scroll down to that post and find it all the time. That's where the transportation page is. District, services, transportation. Okay, back to meals. Yeah, so the high school site will be open every day for the foreseeable future. That's the back lot. Drive through, don't have to give your name, don't have to get out of your car. Just drive through, pull up, just give your last name, I should say. And any kids 0 to 18, don't even have to have the kids with you. Tell them you got 4 kids at home, get 4 lunches and breakfast for the next day. You're out of there. We had initially planned, if school had started normally this week, next week to evolve to maybe some community sites. That's probably going to be delayed a while till we get our buses figured out, and I figure out how many buses I'm going to have available at that time. So I would imagine for the next week and a half, we're just serving our kids that are in the building, and we have the high school site open. And then we'll try to evolve to something that provides some more sites throughout the community. So that's bus routes and meals. What else? Let me share. I think I'm still sharing here. 2020 school year, the page that has lots of information. You see our recording from last week is up. We have, I'll just mention it, specifically for K through 3 parents. Next Thursday at 5:30, we'll have a meeting, a Zoom meeting like this. It'll be posted. Well, actually, this is Google Meet, but we'll have a Zoom meeting next Thursday at 5:30 for just the K through 3 families to get an update on how the first week went, talk about ways we're going to grow and change over the coming weeks. Let's see, metrics. I hesitate to show that because that wasn't good this week, but here's the page. You can see that I had 6.2% total positivity of tests given in the state and in Lane County. We were up to 30.6 right there and over 5% positive. It looks like yesterday's count dropped a little bit, but the day before that was still pretty high. There's probably a high likelihood, especially with all the U of O students coming back and other schools around Lane County, that there's going to be a few more positive tests that they're opening. We will just wait and see. Blueprints, I mentioned those because we're going to need to update these, especially at the elementary level, because we had what we submitted on one plan. Now we're into a different mode. So just know, again, I don't know how important it is to you folks, but we will be updating these in the coming days and weeks to what we're currently doing. I put here in technology, I took out the calendar of when we're doing Chromebook checkout. Chromebook checkout continues 1 to 4. However, just in the last 20, 30 minutes, we have Chromebooks for high school kids, but elementary kids, we just ran out. We have 100 more coming in tonight. We'll be back up and running, ready to go tomorrow morning tomorrow afternoon, 1 to 4. That'll continue Friday from 1 to 4. I have a total of around 220 more coming in by this Friday. Okay, what else on that page? I guess the only other thing I'd mention, and again, this is kind of K3 specific, what we'll be talking about next Thursday is, do we want to continue with what we're doing? How is that working? How can it improve the 2 hours in the morning? And how and or what do we want to grow to? The two options that we have as far as growth is to slowly check out Chromebooks. We'd probably start at 3rd grade. Maybe next week work down to 2nd, the next week 1st, the next week kindergarten. Have them start to use Chromebooks in class, get familiar with logging in, get familiar with using a Zoom meeting, getting familiar going to their Google Classroom that would be created. And those 3rd graders would have their 2 hours in the morning, and then in the afternoon have a live virtual session with their teacher on some other subject or two. And we'd call that comprehensive distance learning. So that's, excuse me, one way that we could grow is slowly get Chromebooks out to those other grades, K through 3 for in-person kids, and start to engage with those students in the afternoon with synchronous instruction. But those kids being so young, we'll take some time with them using the Chromebooks in the class, practicing with it. They get comfortable before they go home. The second way we could grow is to switch to an every other day model, from an every other day model that we're currently starting on tomorrow to an everyday model. And in that scenario, we'd have our A-day kids coming all in the mornings and our B-day kids coming all in the afternoon. One thing I need to mention is, right now, at least for this week, for sure, probably for next, if you're an A-day kid, you're an A-day kid. If you're a B-day kid, you're a B-day kid. When we start to see exactly who's coming, class sizes, what's working well next week, we might reach out, for example, to some B-day kids and say, hey, are you interested in being an A-day kid? That would help our numbers, or vice versa, an A-day to a B-day. But for now, next week and a half, those bus routes I showed you, that's you. A-day K through 3, they are Tuesday, Thursday, first day tomorrow, B-day Wednesday, Friday, first day this Friday. Okay, as far as new information, I think that is all I have to share. Let me stop presenting that and put that down there. So let's, looks like maybe there's some questions. The link posted on 9/7, so that was my mistake. Thank you. Sounds like Michelle fixed it. Is the date for the last day of school known? I checked the district calendar and could not see it on the calendar. That is an excellent question. The date is, can you tell me what it was planned for, Michelle? June 18, last day of school. I assume that was, this year we were scheduled to have last day on a Friday, right? So June 18, it'll been a Friday. Could that change? It could. A lot of that's going to depend on how the next few months shake out. Other people that have asked me, typically, in years where we need to extend the year, I want to make that decision by February. So it's definitely not going to be something that I change now, and it's not going to be something we change in April or May. If a change occurs, it'll be based on it'll be February at the latest, maybe end of February this year in this unique year, but it won't be later than that. And I'm certainly not going to change it now without really knowing. So for right now, June 18th. If it changes, change will come by February. Should they take those? If we have our own devices, should they take those to class? No. We don't. Give you an example of the high school. Once we hopefully get kids back in school, all the high schoolers have a Chromebook, and they cannot bring their own on campus. We can't have, however many different types of devices kids would have with various things on them logging into our network. So any device that's ever used on our campus can't log into our network. So kids, I'll again use the high school example, they can bring their own devices, but they can't plug into our network. So elementary kids, middle school kids, when we ever get back on site, for sure elementary, we don't ever want them bringing. I suppose a middle school kid could bring theirs. I would talk to teachers, principal at the middle school, but again, we're not allowing them on our network. If they had some reason they wanted to use it in a normal school year at lunchtime, they were doing something on their computer, homework, that's fine. I just can't be on our network. Michelle put the print calendar link on our website. Good. Is the Thursday meeting next week or tomorrow? So that's next week. So we'll have one more of these next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, the meeting is specifically for our K-3 families, where I can take feedback, share with you what I thought, where our wins and our losses were over the first week with our K-3 kids coming to school, hear what the experience is for parents, and talk about those two ways to expand. What are people more interested in doing? We'll have another week of health data to look at. So the elementary meeting next Wednesday, 5:30. Again, just for our anybody is free to attend, but the focus of the discussion will be on our K-3 students, in-person kids. Yes, Michelle always is extremely patient with our folks that come in. She is an all-star. Okay, I don't see any more questions. And I can't think of anything else I need to cover. Again, Chromebook checkout, you could pass if you hear somebody or a problem with their Chromebook the next 2 days from 1 to 4. Come see us at the district office. Going forward, there'll be a plan for when you have a technology question, there's a problem with your Chromebook 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. And really that plan is you call the school, secretary, principal, they might be able to help you. If they can't, they enter that into a Google Doc, or we have a tech over here that's monitoring that. Then they would reach out to you to your phone number to try to support you. So the support here at the district office and the operation we have going will go through Friday. After that, if you need to check out a Chromebook or you have an issue with your Chromebook, the charger quit working, start that conversation at the building. And that's all I got. So I don't see any other questions. Miss Maya had a question. There's been some discussion online about how the 30.6 is being calculated and where that's coming from. What is the best way to help get that information through or from? I have a contact at Lane County Public Health. I imagine they get asked that a lot. I will email her after this with that question. I can't answer it. I look at the thing, under 30, good. I'm hoping for under 10, that'd be great. It's 30.6, that was bad. I haven't delved into, I mean, obviously I know what it is, but I'm unsure. I think I've followed or seen some of that discussion, and maybe not today or yesterday, but I've heard it in the past. Is it active cases? right? So in the public health environment, they consider you a case 3 or 4 or 5 days up to 10 after you've been diagnosed. I don't know if that counts in the 10.6 or it's just new cases. We had 17 on Monday, 23 on Tuesday, 14 on Wednesday, and it's just those added up or something else. But I should be able to get the answer to that. I will email Lane County Public Health and post it on the district main page, the answer to that question when I get it. And if anybody else knows, feel free to jump in. All right, I'll leave it open. I'll sit here for another 60 seconds if anybody else has any questions. Other than that, we'll wrap it up. Okay, I'm not seeing any more. If you think of something later, again, email me, your principals, anytime. I'll work on that Lane County Public Health question. Thanks again. Last one of these next Wednesday. K through 3 specific one next Thursday at 5:30, not like at 3:30 next Wednesday. Thanks.